Hello, hello, hello. I want to start today's episode by describing something to you, a specific image, and that is the image of your bedside table. So there's a glass of water, your phone charging probably, and books, like self-help books, personal development books, wellness books, some with sticky notes on the pages that felt like they mattered most, some with whole passages underlined, some that you've recommended to 5 different women, some maybe that you bought like on a Tuesday at 11 p.m. when you were lying awake with that like particular brand of like restlessness that only visits you when you know that something in your life needs to change. So you've read, you've journaled, maybe you've been in therapy for years, you've bought and done digital courses, your podcast queue is a damn love letter to your own self-awareness, and you know your attachment style, you can trace your nervous system responses back to their origin, you've sent voice memos to your best friend saying, this is exactly what I've been trying to say. You, my love, are not a beginner. You are not someone who hasn't tried or isn't trying. And yet, here you are, still circling, still knowing without fully becoming, still waiting somewhere in your body for the thing that makes all of that knowing land. And today I want to talk about why. And I want to be very, very clear before we dive in. The reason's not what you think it is. It is not because there is anything wrong with you. Welcome back to the Feminine Rebellion. I am Natty, and this is the show where we refuse to make ourselves smaller, to make anyone else comfortable, where we name the systems that are actually running our lives, and where we say the truth about midlife that nobody else is willing to say. If you are new here, welcome, genuinely. I'm so glad you found us. And if you've been listening for a while, this episode is for you, woman. It's the one that I've been circling for a while now, and I think might be some of the most important stuff I have ever talked about on the show. We are going to get into some really nerdy neuroscience today, some of my personal history that I don't share very lightly, and something I've built that I want to tell you about. So get comfortable and let's fucking go. Okay, let's get into it. There is a concept in the personal development world that doesn't get named clearly enough. And I think it is the thing that is keeping some of the most brilliant, self-aware, genuinely committed women I know in a state of permanent circling. And it's this: awareness is not activation. Awareness is not activation. I had to say that again because I want it to land in your body, not just register as another phrase you've heard. So we've been sold a story, and honestly, the entire self-help industrial complex is built on this premise, that if you understand your patterns, if you name the wound, if you can identify the conditioning, if you trace it all the way back to the thing that happened when you were 7 years old, it will magically change. That all of this insight equals transformation. Or that knowing all this stuff equals becoming someone new. And I'm not throwing out therapy or journaling or any of it. That work is real. But the awareness you've built, it's not that it's wasted, but awareness alone has a ceiling. And I think a lot of us, especially women who have been genuinely invested in their own growth for years, have hit that ceiling without recognizing it. So we just assume the problem is us, that we need more insight, a deeper framework, one more book, another podcast find. But what we actually need is activation. And activation is when something moves from your head, where you understand it intellectually, and down into your body, into your nervous system, into your actual lived experience. It's when you stop knowing that you deserve more and you actually start making choices from that knowing. It's like when you stop understanding you're allowed to want what you want and you actually start fucking wanting it out loud without, years or, months or days of second guessing yourself. Activation is embodiment. It's the difference between knowing something and becoming it. It's not some poetic thing. It's neurological. So here's something about activation that nobody says plainly enough. Pleasure is how you know it's working. When you're truly activated, not just intellectually engaged, your body starts to function as a compass. Your yes and your no become physical before they become cognitive. You stop making decisions from your head and you start making them from somewhere deeper, somewhere that knows before your brain has even caught up. And this is what I say when I say pleasure is your GPS, because pleasure is not a reward when you get done enough work. Pleasure is how your nervous system communicates with you when it is free. So let's get to a sciencey bit. I'm going to nerd out for a little bit. Stay with me. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that is responsible for higher order thinking, self-reflection, insight, and all of the stuff that therapy and books and journaling are designed to access, cannot fully activate in isolation. And this is not some philosophical position of mine. I'm not making this up. This is neuroscience. Your limbic system, the emotional center of your brain, the part that actually governs your behavior and felt experience and whether you're living from your power or performing your way through life, regulates itself through connection, through what we call co-regulation, through the presence of other bodies, other nervous systems, other women who are also in the process of becoming. So there's a concept I learned about years ago called limbic resonance. It's from a book called A General Theory of Love by 3 neuroscientists. And it's one of the most quietly revolutionary ideas I've ever come across. The core of it is we are not fully autonomous, self-regulating beings that we've been told we are. Our nervous systems are designed to co-regulate. We're actually connected. We literally stabilize and expand through sustained contact with other nervous systems. This is exactly why you can be completely spiraling at home alone in the dark in a bad place. You can call one specific friend and 20 minutes later feel genuinely different. And it's not because she's a coach or she said something particularly wise. It was because her nervous system was there, steady and present. This is your brain doing exactly what it evolved to do. Now, imagine what happens when you are regularly, consistently in contact with a room full of women whose nervous systems are actively expanding with you. Women who are unbinding from conditioning. Women who have stopped performing all of their lives and started actually living them. Your brain clocks it. Your ceiling, that glass ceiling, lifts. Not because anyone lectured you or anything, just because you were in the room. Okay, more science. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter most associated with motivation, with forward movement, and this felt sense of possibility, activates most powerfully in context of genuine belonging. So the research is unambiguous. Social connection makes us move faster, take bigger risks, and physically expands what our brains believe is possible for us. And isolation, even the kind of isolation we don't recognize that isolation because we're surrounded by people who are doing the inner work, completely alone, contracts when our brains believe what is possible. It keeps us safe. And safe is not the same as alive. Safe is not the same as alive. And I want to name something that I care too much to tiptoe around. There is a specific kind of woman I see in spaces like this whose story genuinely breaks my heart a little. A brilliant woman, right? She's brilliant. She's doing all the work, reading all the books, right? She's done every retreat. She's been in therapy for years, decades even. She can articulate all of her patterns with precision. And she is fundamentally still in this same place she was 3 years ago, 5 years ago. She's still making the same choices. She's still tolerating the same fucking dynamics. She's still waiting to feel ready to actually live the life she keeps writing about and dreaming about in her journal. And the actual reason is not lack of insight or not lack of discipline. It's not a commitment problem. It is the absence of the environment that makes activation possible. So the book gives you awareness. My podcast gives you language. The solo meditation practice gives you access to your inner self. But a coven of women gives you activation. Alchemy happens in a coven. And when you are in a real living container with women who are actively in the process of becoming, you start to believe It is possible for you. And not in a, but she's different from me way. In a, if she can do that, what the hell am I actually capable of kind of way. When you watch a woman you know, a real woman, not some fucking Instagram woman, leave a situation that was suffocating her and build something extraordinary from the other side, your brain files that under possible. When you witness a woman stepping into her full power in a coaching conversation in real time, and you can feel the shift in the room, your own nervous system responds, and you expand by witnessing expansion, not by working harder alone in your bedroom, not by understanding more, but simply by being in the room. Okay, so I have been building something quietly and now less quietly. So 10 years ago, my inner world was so much smaller than it is now. Not because I wasn't trying. I was doing the work. I was showing up. I was fucking committed, but I was doing it in a container that was way too small and around women that were way too small than what was trying to emerge from me. And I didn't even know that yet. And the thing that changed it wasn't a book. It was a woman. It was one specific woman whose existence showed my brain a ceiling it didn't know it could lift. She wasn't coaching me. She wasn't giving me a plan. She was just living fully, wildly, and without apology. And something in my body went, that's fucking allowed. That's possible. Damn, maybe that can be me. And I'm going to do an entire episode next week on this concept, on the women I call our expanders, the one who lift your ceiling just by existing. But the short version is this. I went from having one of these women to at least 7. I mean, right now I know I have 7 women in my iPhone favorites. 7 women who have, without coaching me or advising me, fundamentally expanded what I believe is possible for me, what is possible for my life. And I want that for you. I want you to have a full fucking room of those women, which is why I built Rebels Rising. Rebels Rising, it's the inner sanctum of the Feminine Rebellion community. It's a 1-year container for the woman who is done doing this work alone. It is monthly coaching with me. Actually, it's twice a month coaching with me all year. Real hot seats, real patterns named, the kind of coaching that gets into your nervous system and doesn't leave. It is backroom access to the experts that I lean on every day. It is every course I've created, included from day one, in a private circle of untamed women who will become each other's expanders. I have 20 founding member spots at $9.97 for the year, only 20. And after that, the price doubles. So the link is in the show notes, or you can go to thefemininerebellion.com/rebels-rising. If this episode landed somewhere in your body, if, awareness is an activation, felt like something clicked into place, that sensation isn't nothing. That is your nervous system already fucking knowing the answer. The question is whether you're going to let your brain catch up. And listen, come into the room. I will not let you fade. Come find out what is possible when you stop doing this work alone. All right. I love you madly. Let's fucking go. And peace out. Mwah.